Welcome to today's session. As usual, I would like to ask you to make your own motivation for today, just in silence. Thank you. And together, or for all of us, I would like to read again the two verses. Mercy alone is seen as the seed of a conqueror's rich harvest, as water for development, and as ripening in a state of long enjoyment. Therefore, at the start, I praise compassion. Samsara and nirvana lack even an atom of true existence, while cause and effect and dependent arising are unfailing. I seek your blessings to discern the import of Nagarjuna thought, which is that these two are complementary and not contradictory. We need compassion on the method side, and on the wisdom side, the wisdom that is realizing emptiness, realizing reality exactly as it is. With these two wings, we can cross the ocean of samsara. So, where are we? You can see here on the mind map, we are in the main part of the text, main body of the text, and here actually still on the first ground, the first bodhisattva ground, who is called very joyful. And we heard different things already. The explanation of the good qualities that characteristic this ground. Specifically, the good qualities that beautify one's own continuum, then also the good qualities that outshine others' continuums on this ground. And we are actually still in this part. Oops, that was not correct. Let me do like this. That's also not correct. Something is wrong today, sorry. Here, let me see if it's working now. Yes. Okay, we are still in the good qualities that outshine others continuum. And here is the last part. We had last time sources of Hinayana and Mahayana sutras and treatises that prove that the hearers and solitary realizers arhats have the realization of emptiness of phenomena. Mainly by 7 quotes that are specifically, most of them from the Precious Garland by Nagarjuna and also by others. Now today, here is this orange circle. We will first, in this part, have the third point, rejecting arguments against the teachings. Then we will go on here again to see the bigger picture on the third point here of the good qualities, the surpassing good qualities of the first ground, and probably we'll have time to go through at different points in this regard. Okay, today it's just not working as I want to. Here we are. Okay, on this mind map. Okay, up here. Now there are arguments or objections that are posited in context of these Mahayana and Hinayana sutras and quotes. And here on the top left, Baba Viveka is saying objections that if the selflessness of phenomena is taught in the here vehicle, then the Mahayana teachings, they would be senseless. Because then the system would be contradictory to reasoning and scriptures. So just a short quote of a verse is, if that were so, the Mahayana teaching would be senseless. So is Baba Viveka talking about the Mahayana teachings being senseless in general, green here, or secondly, in teaching emptiness or selflessness of phenomena? Let's look first at the first point. In general, would it be senseless in general? But this would be absurd consequence that the Mahayana teaching would be senseless, but that is not the case, because the Mahayana also teaches the 6 perfections, the 10 grounds, great compassion, the 2 collections, mind generation, the 4 bodies of Buddhas, and so on. So there are many more very important topics that are included in the Mahayana teachings. Then let's see if it would be senseless in teaching selflessness and emptiness of phenomena. Let's see here. In the text, in the scriptures, Buddha has taught selflessness of phenomena actually in both, in the Hinayana and the Mahayana teachings. And I just actually yesterday was listening to Geshe Kelsang Wangmo's teaching, and she was using now, again, also different names for Hinayana and Mahayana. She is calling the Hinayana the fundamental vehicle and the Mahayana the universal vehicle. So you can see there are a few different names. Here in my mind maps, we're always using Mahayana and Hinayana. So I will mainly use also these terms. And let's see the difference in the Mahayana and Hinayana teachings that Buddha was establishing. In the Hinayana, the selflessness of phenomena is mentioned, but only briefly. In the Mahayana, it is fully mentioned with limitless reasonings. The realization in the Hinayana is also a brief realization, and in the Mahayana, it is a full realization. The method in the Hinayana is the truly existent one and many reasoning, and the goal is liberation for oneself alone. That means also abandoning the afflictive obscurations. In the Mahayana is the method to see that the aggregates are not inherently existent with limitless reasonings. The goal here is not just abandoning the afflictive obscuration, but to abandon the knowledge obscurations, to achieve omniscience for all sentient beings. And this needs a very broadened mind of wisdom opened to suchness or emptiness. And here again, with limitless reasoning, to see that the aggregates are not inherently existent, brings more understanding to help sentient beings. Then the Bodhisattva is developing more skills. And here, again, a reference to our tenets that we are, the two uncommon tenets of the Prasangika. So here you can see the liberation, the goal is the abandonment of the afflictive obscurations. And the selflessness of phenomena is taught in the Hinayana. So this again is a proof that selflessness of phenomena is in the Hinayana teachings, therefore it is an afflictive obscuration. Now there's another quote of Nagarjuna. There's one verse. You have said that without cognizing signlessness, meaning suchness or emptiness, liberation does not occur. Thus, you taught it fully in the Mahayana. And you can see here the blue color is referring to the blue that we had before with the Hinayana, and the red one or orange one refers to the Mahayana. So you have said that without cognizing signlessness, liberation does not occur. So mean it is in the Hinayana, and thus you taught it fully in the Mahayana. Also here, the realization of emptiness, down here you can see, of emptiness of phenomena, is the same for Hinayana and Mahayana. And we'll talk about this more. Now I just found out something. I can use the mouse. Oh, that's good. Okay. So, when realizing the emptiness of one phenomena, then it is very easy to establish, analyze with reasonings this for another phenomena on the basis of the previous reasonings. So when we have realized or have understood emptiness in the context of one phenomena, we can then just apply the same reasoning for another phenomena and easily also can understand emptiness. There's again a wrong assertion mentioned in a text. And there it is said here, emptiness of true existence is truly existent because it exists as it appears. And this actually the answer of the Prasangika. On the uninterrupted path, emptiness exists as it appears. It is true because all other phenomena are falsities, but it is still not truly existent. Even it exists as it appears, it is still not truly existent. This is a very important statement. It will come again and again. Okay? That is not correct. Something happened here again. No. Here I wanted to go. I really don't know what happened today. No, back. Okay. We are still in the section again with the arguments or objections. And here is an objection of Madyamakavatara in the context of Svatantrika tenets. And he mentions in the Ornament of Clear Realization, it is said that, and now here this brown star, solitary realizers abandon adhering to existence of the object, but not of the subject. The subject is still truly existent. It would mean, with other words, we could say they abandon adhering to existence of the object that is considered, that is observed, but not of the subject, meaning the mind that is observing the object. The mind is still truly existent. And here we have to see, according to Prasangika, the mind object of abandonment for hearers, solitarizer and bodhisattva, is different. Hearers, it is the afflictive obscurations, the self-sufficient, substantially existent self. For the solitary realizers, it is a coarse knowledge obscuration by grasping for external objects. And then for the bodhisattvas, it's the subtle knowledge obscurations, grasping for true existence. And remember, true existence, inherent existence are synonymous. So we have to go up here. There comes the answer of the Prasangika. If you refute the true existence of external objects, then when you analyze whether subjects, also the minds that observe the objects, truly exist, you can, based on the force of the former reasoning, realize the subject also do not truly exist. Connection to what we said before. And here's a quote from Aryadeva. He who sees suchness of one phenomena sees the suchness of all phenomena. And then also in the text is like I don't know, a saying, holding Chittamatra tenets and solitarizer tenets as the same is laughable. Why? Because the solitarizers, they don't have tenets. They're actually the same as the hearers. Here's an importance in the blue color here. For emptiness to be observed, it must be realized for that mind. And if true existence is not established for that mind, then emptiness is not realized. If emptiness is not realized, then neither is emptiness of phenomena. So, here is about for emptiness of self, of person, to be observed, it must be realized for that mind. So the mind does need to realize the emptiness of self, of person. And if true existence is not established for that mind, then emptiness is not realized. And if emptiness of person, self of person is not realized, then neither is emptiness of phenomena. Connected to what we said up here. Okay. The quotes, and it's actually here. No, I do this at the end. We go back here. There's another quote. Furthermore, in the Ornament of Clear Realization, OCR is Ornament of Clear Realization, it says, hearers and solitary realizers also realize emptiness. The natural abiding lineage is the same for all. Just the basis of emptiness is or are different. For example, the minds of a hearer, a solitary realizer, and a bodhisattva. The minds are different, but the natural abiding lineage is the same for all. So, observing emptiness mainly brings about the different qualities that are the results. And for this, we have to see the mind map on the side here to the right. There are differences in, again, as we heard a few times already, the Svatantrika tenets or Svatantrika Yogacharya that are connected to the Chittamatrin. On the one side, here left, and here to the orange color, the Prasangika. So, Svatantrika Acharya hold there are three vehicles: a great, middling, small. Prasangika does agree. They have faculties: sharp, middling, and dull. Great has sharp, middling, and small has dull faculties. Prasangika do agree. Remember, sharp, middling, dull doesn't mean like that the tenets and the trainees who are practicing and studying on these paths, that they have a dull. They are not dull at all. It's just a kind of distinction. So, in relation to selflessness, the best is the Madhyamaka view, the middling is the Chittamatra view, and the small is the Hira view. And here Prasangika says, no, wrong. According to Prasangika, all three vehicles have the view of suchness. The difference is how quickly the trainees penetrate or realize suchness. Suchness, again, emptiness. The object of meditation is for all the same: suchness, emptiness of phenomena, emptiness of self, of person. But the consciousness of the three are different. As we said before, hearer, Soita risers, bodhisattvas. And there's the comparison is here these three cups. The cups are all the same, but the contents are different. There's one filled with chocolate, one with milk, and one with water. Okay? And here in the middle, a little bit upside down, all these quotes that we have heard, they show that the hearers and solitary realizers, arhats, have the realization, the lack of inherent existence. And the conclusion is that the Prasangika system and the ornament of clear realization are not contradictory. Okay, now it seems to work. As we have been talking a lot again about the selfness of person and the selfness of phenomena, I just put these two quotes. They are from Geshe-Acharya Thupten in Meditation on the Path of Enlightenment, and I just read them the other night. So I think it's very nice how he describes the self of person, or the grasping at the self of person, actually. Yeah? The self-grasping of the person is consciousness, which grasps at the person as being inherently existent. It holds that the person exists independently of the five aggregates, which are the parts of a person. Person, self, I, and a sense for identity are synonymous. So meaning that things so clear that the person exists independently outside of the five aggregates. And that's actually not true at all. If we search this self of person outside, we cannot find. If we search it inside, meaning independence of the aggregates, we still cannot find it. The closer we look, we can just see there is also no self of person find on top, in, part, and so on of the aggregates. But still, it is existing, because I'm here talking now, no, it exists, I exist. But it is only designated by the mind on a valid basis. But this again, also we will talk about this later more. Okay, and then the grasping of the self of phenomena. the self-grasping of phenomena is the consciousness which grasps at any phenomena other than the person as being inherently existent. It holds that these phenomena exist independently of causes, conditions, parts, and labeling consciousness, meaning that they are existing independent of independent arising. And any other phenomena than the person is like just, I think it's clear, the self-person is what is put on the aggregates, and anything else that we perceive, even our aggregates and all the outside external phenomena, are connected to being the self of phenomena. So as I still don't have a partner yet, still don't have a partner, I cannot ask any question, and the person also cannot ask questions. So I just will go on then. Okay, now we have finished a big part with all these dispelling objections about the Mahayana, Hinayana teachings about these first two uncommon tenets. And now we go to the first ground in a way that we all, that we know it, that is connected with the perfection of giving. So, and here we talk about the surpassing good qualities of the first ground. A and B. A here, giving of abiders on the first ground. So I mean, like giving of the bodhisattvas who are on the first ground. There's a verse here, and I have to say here, I sometimes change, as you already recognize. Sometimes I say she, and sometimes he, or him, or her. So when I did the mind maps, I was sometimes also writing it not correctly. I mean, like not exactly how it was in the text. Then in the text was always he and or him, and I did write and change it here. So I hope you forgive me that I sometimes do it differently. So here it is. Then for her, the first cause of perfect enlightenment, giving, becomes surpassing. So on the first ground, the first cause of perfect enlightenment, giving, becomes surpassing. A little bit more about this. Solely the perfection of giving becomes surpassing, not yet the other perfections, because they come on the following grounds. Surpassing means, an example why it is surpassing, because the bodhisattva on this ground can give her or his own body and external belongings without the slightest attachment. And the verse here continues, her devotion to giving, even her own flesh, is reason for inferring the unimaginable. Meaning, ordinary beings, as we cannot imagine a bodhisattva's realizations. It can only be seen through inference, meaning facial expressions, joy, or the action of giving. It is unimaginable for us. Okay? Now we go on. Compare now giving of those of a lower basis. Here, the practice of the small scope. Attaining giving attaining happiness of cyclic existence through giving. This is connected with ordinary beings. So this is interesting also. Even ordinary beings can, when we are giving, we will attain future happiness. And when we talk now with the practice of the small scope, small scope refers to only wanting happiness in the next life. So it means here all beings want happiness, but human happiness does not occur without resources. Knowing that resources arise from giving, the subduer, what is that? First discoursed on that. And here this means all beings want diminishment of suffering. No hunger, thirst, sickness, heat or cold. But these resources arise from merit accumulating from previous giving. So everything, I think it's very important here to see, or for me, I reflect on this often, that every smallest happiness that I experience now in this life is coming from giving that I have done previously and the merit that I did accumulate with it. And it goes on here, attaining happiness of cyclic existence through giving. This verse, even for being with little compassion, brutal and intent on their own aims. Desired resources arise from giving, causing extinguishment of suffering. Meaning here, even the brutal, meaning people are very self-cherishing, only wanting to have happiness for this life. Without ethical discipline, attain resources through giving. So even if we have no ethical discipline, we do gain resources in the future through giving. And here, when for the practicing of the middle scope, the ones that want to have liberation from samsara, attaining the happiness of nirvana through giving. Here it refers to hearers and solitary realizers. The verse here is, through giving, even they will quickly attain a meeting with a superior being. Then they will cut the continuum of cyclic existence, going to the peace caused by meeting a superior. And here this means with the motivation and after a certain amount of accumulating merit through giving, beings will meet eventually a superior, a Sangha, who will teach them the Dharma. For example, an Arhat giving Dharma teachings. Okay. I think when I see the time, I just leave it for today at this point. And I think it's really wonderful to reflect in the meantime about how easy we are in a position to give even smallest things, even things that don't belong to us, to belong to everybody, like the flowers in the mountains who don't belong anyone, we can offer. So there's so much we could give in our daily life. And when we hear now how much we can accumulate merit for future happiness, I think it's really worthwhile to try to do this again and again. And not to forget at the same time to make the motivation for giving. Motivation to achieve enlightenment for all sentient beings. If possible, during the act of giving, to remember emptiness, the lack of inherent existence of the giver, the giving, and the object. And then also to dedicate. And in the same way, we do this as always today as well. Whatever small merit we generate through listening, sharing, reflecting on this topic, we dedicate for our own developing of great compassion, bodhicitta, and the wisdom realizing emptiness and all qualities, with the wish for all sentient beings to be able to experience love and compassion, the wisdom realizing emptiness, bodhicitta, and all good qualities in their lives. And still, specifically these days, that may all the suffering and the wars in the world may stop immediately. May the precious body-mind, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. In this land, encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. As long as space remains, and as long as sentient beings remain, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Thank you very much for listening. I'm looking forward to see you again. Actually, no, that's not true. I cannot see you. But anyway, I'm looking forward to do the next session.